So good afternoon. I'm Sheriff Waters, and thank you for joining us today. We're here to discuss a murder investigation, or the conclusion of one of our murder investigations. And I want to thank the Pringle family for being here with us this morning, and let you know that our hearts are with you and your family. And now Chief Alan Parker is going to give you the details of the investigation. Chief.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good afternoon. I'm Alan Parker, Chief of Investigations for the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Today we announced the clearance of the double murder that occurred in San Marco area of Jacksonville, tragically taking the lives of Paige Pringle and Tarah Baker. Since these murders occurred on August 9th, the dedicated detectives of JSO's homicide unit have worked tirelessly to run down every investigative avenue in the hopes of providing answers to the deceased victims' family members. Homicide detectives have identified the person who perpetrated these murders as Ty Christopher Head, and you'll see him here on the screen. However, detectives cannot arrest Head as he took his own life the day after these double murders. While we cannot provide the deceased victims' family members with justice through the court system, it is our solemn hope that by providing them with some factual answers concerning these murders, we can impart to them some sense of peace. Because of the great public interest in these murders, we want to share the known facts and circumstances of this double murder. I will say up front that we do not definitively know why these murders happened. When Head took his own life, he blocked the only avenue for investigators to conclusively answer this question. Murder, even when we understand the motive behind it, is a senseless act of violence. We cannot ever find sense in a senseless act. I'm sharing with you today what we do know about the murders and how the investigation led us to identify Head. At around 1:30 a.m. on August 9th, Paige Pringle was driving on Hendricks Avenue, presumably on her way home, when she stopped at the train tracks due to a passing train. Tarah Baker was next to her bike near the train tracks. Head was driving behind Paige Pringle in a gray Volkswagen Passat. While stopped by the train, he parked and exited his vehicle. For reasons unknown to us at this time, he then shot and killed Tarah Baker and Paige Pringle. Head then fled the area in his vehicle. Homicide detectives immediately began working this tragic double murder. Initially, the color, make, and model was the only lead that detectives had. Crime scene detectives recovered multiple spent 9mm casings at the homicide scene. Using various law enforcement technologies, detectives worked together with our federal partners at the FBI and ATF to develop Head as a possible suspect. Because we want to protect the integrity of our investigative tools, I will not share the details of which technologies were utilized to identify Head. After identifying Head as a potential suspect, investigators quickly learned that Head owned a gray Volkswagen Passat, which matched the description of the suspect vehicle. Additionally, they learned that Head had shot and killed himself outside of Nashville, Tennessee, the day after the double murder. At that time, we coordinated efforts with Wilson County, Tennessee Sheriff's Office. They confirmed that he had committed suicide near his gray Volkswagen Passat using a 9mm handgun. Through firearms forensics, experts confirmed that the casing recovered at Head's suicide scene matched the casings recovered at the double murder scene. ATF forensics just confirmed within the last hour that the 9mm handgun that Head used for his suicide is in fact the weapon that took the lives of Tarah Baker and Paige Pringle. 22 years old at the time of his death, Head had no criminal record. However, he did have a history of substance abuse. In fact, Head had lived in a sober house for addiction just prior to the double murder. We shared this information with the deceased family members. In fact, the parents of Paige Pringle are present here today, as the sheriff mentioned. While we can't provide them with justice through an arrest and prosecution, we hope that this information provides them with some sort of peace. Our community continues to send them support as they navigate their grief. Also, we want to again offer our thanks to Wilson County, Tennessee Sheriff's Office, our federal partners, and the State Attorney's Office for their continued collaboration during this investigation. And at this time, we can take a few questions.
Was the suspect from the Jacksonville area? What made him go back to Nashville, Tennessee? Do you guys know that by chance?
We don't know why he went to Nashville. His family was from outside of Jacksonville. He was here kind of in a halfway house for a little while. But from what we understand, he was kind of homeless, living in his car prior to the murders.
Did he have any mental history that you guys looked into by chance, the suspect?
There's nothing documented on his mental history that we're aware of. We've done an extensive search on that. So just the substance abuse is the only thing that's documented.
Chief, can you trace him back to being at a venue, an establishment, anywhere before this? Where did he come from?
He was, well, like I said, he was in a halfway house out at Jack's Beach for the weeks leading up to this, and then a few days before, it sounds like he had gone into a homeless state and was kind of just out and about in his car and living in his car. So where he was specifically prior to this, we don't know.
That night, you don't know where he came from?
No, that's still being looked at. This is still ongoing. This is just information that we wanted to share that we have at this time, so that may be more that'll come out. If so, we'll do it through the PIO's office.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank y'all.